Welcome back, everyone. Very unexpected 2-0 lead for MVP currently. KT rolls are a bit on the back foot here. This match doesn't mean as much for them, but still a bit surprising, especially in which the manner they lost one game to some weird DT Colossus play, a weird timing push. The first game, a crazy Baneling all in, simply was not scouted.
Yeah, some weird losses, but obviously KT don't care too much because they are ranked number 2 in the playoffs no matter what. They made it through, so maybe they're taking a little bit of a break this week. They're like, you know what, if we lose, whatever. Good for MVP, and it might even be good for KT if MVP make it to the playoffs, because it might be just a little bit of an easier team for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a very valid point. Now, if you look at GuMiho's record right now, actually, in Pro League in total, he has an incredible record for who he is and how often he's fielded. I mean, he doesn't have a very impressive record outside of Pro League right now. Like, he's not having the best Star League games. He had some decent ones, but not the best. And we don't see him in GSL too often, but when he gets sent out, he brings the wins. In fact, he beat Zest in the only time they played against each other, which was last year when the boot fell on his head last summer. I think that was in round 4 even.
Yeah, maybe it's the exact same time of year. Maybe it's going to happen again. He gets bopped in the head.
That would be crazy, actually.
Win a game. And here's Zest, looking as handsome as ever. 2-4 against Terran this season. Bit of a shock there.
Yeah. Well, 3-7 in ace matches, actually. That's an interesting stat. I never realized he had lost so many ace matches.
Yeah, he's had a couple of disappointing games, that's for sure. He went on a bit of a slump.
He has definitely had some opponents that have his number, like Creator as well, that he faces in ace matches when he runs into them. Well, we'll see. But right now, he's KT's last hope. He will have to win this match to bring it to that 4th game. Otherwise, MVP is going to take the 3-0. Here are our predictions. Everyone votes Zest, although even with the 6-0 here, GuMiho definitely has a shot. And this is not one of the easy ones to predict today like Game 2 was, I felt, even though we were all wrong.
Everyone's getting it wrong today, Wolf. But yeah, this could go either way.
All right, looks like the players are ready. We're going to go into Game 3, GuMiho versus Zest. Bottom center in teal for MVP. It's the Towel Terran GuMiho.
And up here at the top for KT, the lost hope, Zest.
Zest, very handsome guy, as we were saying earlier.
I think he's by far the most handsome pro gamer.
I think he is.
I gotta say, man.
Well, prediction-wise, on the fan vote puts him at 82% over GuMiho's 18, despite GuMiho's winning record, as well as his winning record specifically versus Zest. He's got such a small pool of results, especially in recent times to pull from, that I feel voting for Zest is the clear, obvious choice here.
It is definitely the obvious choice. Yeah, GuMiho, we don't get to see that often. He comes in now and then, but you mostly see him on a lot of online tournaments still. He's one of those players that just plays in everything he can, which I think is a very double-edged sword, especially if you're in Pro League, because they're just going to get, there's so much research material out there for you.
Yep.
That you're going to get hard counted a lot of the time.
Absolutely true.
It's kind of the story for Solar as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's I feel like definitely part of his weakness, and playing in these online tournaments as well, especially like Solar does, where he's like literally always awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, is going to get into your practice quite a bit, and you're going to be playing games and matchups that you shouldn't be practicing, but you're just playing them because you're playing in an online tournament or an online qualifier. So it's better to get in-house team practice where people can watch and study your play and help you out as you're going through the ladder or an in-game or in-house customs. So we'll see though. GuMiho coming in here, or rather, excuse me, Zest coming into GuMiho's base here. We'll get a scout off. We'll see that. It's obviously just going to be a normal Reaper expand. Quick
Nothing out
gap,
of the
though.
ordinary. Nice little Sim City there as well for Zest. Make the Reaper a bit of a hard time trying to find out what's behind that little wall there.
Yep. We're starting to see pros get a lot more creative with this. It took a while.
Yeah, I've been liking it a lot actually. Especially, you know, on the ramps of naturals and stuff. We saw Classic starting to do that during Star League. And that made it was really interesting, and it did a lot of work. It stopped Hellions getting by. It stopped scouting early on.
Yeah. It's really funny because, I mean, at the highest level of play, you would think something like this would have happened earlier, but it just simply hasn't.
Yeah, you know, these trends come in, like these new ideas just suddenly happen, then everyone starts doing them. Becomes a new meta, and it's kind of there for the rest of the game. You know, it's just such a good idea where it's at the moment.
And in general, in the Korean meta and the Korean style, experimentation is actually highly frowned upon. Most people don't encourage it, so you have every now and then a player like SOS who will do it, but in general, most people kind of try to improve what they consider to be the standard and best way of playing.
Yeah. Nice scout off there with the Reaper. Should get out alive.
Oh, this pylon's here for a reason, man.
Wow.
Oh, GuMiho smiles in the booth as well. I think he knows what's up. He's like, wow, you
got me good, but you know what? Reactor Reaper is going to change that.
Oh my God.
He's getting out 2 at a time.
He's done this. He's the only player who's successfully done this.
Well, it's going to hurt now that he lost his initial Reaper as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to cause a lot of problems in trying to build up the damage. He might not even have enough to fight a Stalker at this point as well.
Yeah, I don't think he can. He's going fast 3cc with this into a factory, so this is not like an all-in, and it looks like, yeah, he's just going to stop here. Because we have seen GuMiho go up to like 7, 8 Reapers and actually win in this matchup before.
I'd love to see that. Like, I think it could do some serious damage if there was 3 at least, you know, because I think he could kill a Stalker with 3. 2 though, it's going to be a bit harder.
He avoids the Stalker though initially here, and is actually coming around with even an SCV. Might actually be able to maybe kill a Zealot and escape, or just try to target down probes and leave. That pylon though is definitely going to put a damper on his strategy. He sends 1 Reaper here, might split the other one off. Okay, so look at this. SCV comes in, distracts the Zealot. Reaper comes to the back, he's going to harass, and also he has a lot more scouting this way.
Oh yeah, it's kind of surprised he's not using the second one there. He could have that up here doing significantly more damage to these probes.
Okay, here it comes, and he's going to scout the Stargate. So the SCV basically let him know, okay, where's the last place left I need to check.
Right, he sees the Phoenix. It's going to go down for 1 probe. Gives away the tech choice, though, I think. Now that he knows it's Phoenix, like, okay, I've got to be careful with dropping. I've got to be careful where I put my medivacs, and yeah, just be careful of some just initial Phoenix harassment as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it's a very expensive scout, but had Zest been out on the map, it could have done a ton of damage. Ooh, that was close. Let's react very quickly. And so far, ooh, an armory.
Interesting.
Interesting.
No.
You think there's a chance he could go mech here?
I don't. I wouldn't think so, right?
There's a tech up. Is he just going to rush out a Thor to be safe?
Could be a Thor, actually. I think that might be the choice here.
That's what it's starting to look like. He is still producing Marines, but just a few. I mean, he could stop at any moment and switch add-ons, make another factory. Obviously, he wants to deny the scout first before he does that as well.
Yeah, he's got a tech lab on that factory. Armory almost finished.
I think it's just going to be a Thor, right?
It has to be a Thor.
At least to start with here, but he's not making any more Marines. Oh, he's supply block, that's why. All right.
Oh, moment of truth here.
It's got to be a Thor. I mean, if he is going mech after this, he's still going to make a Thor here, I think, right? Because it's going to be the right choice. +1 for vehicles and
a Thor.
For infantry, and there's the Thor.
Okay, so it looks like Bio, Thor, perhaps the timing here. +1 to both upgrades there, so... We haven't seen this before, Wolf, so...
No, I mean, the closest thing we've ever seen to this is Marine King's crazy experimentation where he, in Wings of Liberty, would go half mech, half bio, basically just with like a ton of Marines, sometimes even without stim.
Yeah, like the age-old like proxy Thor rush and stuff with FCPs. Like that's the other.
Yeah, that's the other closest thing we've ever come to this.
Yeah, right.
And that was like, that's really old, man. That's like 2011.
Yeah, that's like the beginning, man.
That's like 4 years ago. It's like before I came to Korea old.
Well, also making 2 medivacs with this, so very, very interesting. Here comes the Thor, gets the shot up.
Yep, kills that Phoenix with it. Knows there's an observer here, so he might scan for it.
He's thinking about it.
And his Thor is so slow and out of position, though. These Phoenixes are going to get some serious work done in the main base. Meanwhile,
taking down a lot of SCVs already. A lot of energy left over in them as well. So the scan shows 2 medivacs before them, though. And I guess he's just going to move up the map.
Yeah. Now, notice that Zest has, of course, stopped Phoenix production versus multiple Thors here, which is what he's going to expect to be happening when Thor's out this early. You don't really want to continue to make Phoenixes. They're not going to be very useful. He has gone into Colossus production, but already Vikings on the way for GuMiho, who is, obviously continuing to build that bio along with this. It's just straight up a Thor comp. I mean, it's bio Thor versus Protoss. And, oh, look at this, more factories. I think he might just straight up add more Thors.
Yeah, well, so far 2 Thors with his bio. Very late stim as well. I guess it is bio Thor.
Can you check and see if there's an observer anywhere near GuMiho's base for me? Because I want to know if he knows there's multiple Thors. I guess he does now, but he doesn't know if, like...
He doesn't know, like, how much he's committing to, like, extra factories.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Because there's no Immortals, which is what he would want to have somewhat with this. But the cool thing about this is you can either have Immortals to deal with the Thors, or you can have Colossi deal with the Marines. It's hard to actually have a little bit of both and hold a third base against a crazy timing like this. This could be crazy enough to work.
It just might be. There's only 2 Colossus here, and a number of Stalkers, and now Zealot's being warped in, so he's going to hit a really nice timing. What an interesting sort of play. Stim, not finished just yet, about 30 more seconds left. And he's going to start poking. No full committal just yet, though. Maybe he'll be waiting for that stim first.
Oh, reactors going up on those factories back at home, by the way. So might just be for Widow Mines. I can't imagine a world where we're going to see Hellions added into this.
Maybe Hellbats or something?
I suppose maybe to try to stop any Zealots, but if you've got this much bio, the Zealots shouldn't be able to get in on top of your mech part of your army, right?
Yeah, but I guess it just melts away, and then like you have Vikings there to help deal with the Colossus.
You've got the ability to drop those Hellbats as well to harass the probe lines. Let's just kind of watch this game unfold and figure out exactly how GuMiho wants to play this. It is Hellions now on the way.
Such an interesting style. Never really seen the likes of it. Flies past another observer. Deals with it.
Sees it, yeah. Which is important because it's really shutting down his movements quite hard.
Zest is kind of just staying true to the normal style of Protoss do. He's not going for any sort of hard counter to what he's seen. And just Colossus, Phoenix coming out.
He does get Storm out pretty quick. I'm very surprised he continues to make Phoenixes, though, because that's just simply not going to be effective versus this composition.
Well, I guess it does bait the fire of the Thors, and it will help out tying up the Vikings as well. So it makes sense in that regard, but yeah, they aren't going to last very long. They're going to go down pretty damn quick, actually.
I just feel like, oh, hold that thought. These Hellions don't have blue flame, but they're still going to be able to target down a few probes here. 5 in total. Be worth it. But, I feel like Storm Immortal, what we're seeing in build now, makes a ton of sense. You have the Immortals to deal with any mech you run into, and then you've got Storm. And look at this. He's pulling the boys. He actually wants to hit with his timing with 2-2.
Wow.
Or +2 attack and +2 for mech.
Infernal Pre-Igniter, Combat Shields.
Yeah.
Everything is coming at once. Hellbats now in the mix. 4 Colossus stand, and an Immortal just came out.
This is GuMiho trying to do this charge to win this for his team 3-0. This is actually crazy. Zest must be so stressed, man.
He has such a great chance to do so. Good positioning.
The Zealots need to get down that
They're
ramp.
so worthless there, man, against Hellbats and Stimbio and Thors.
All right, here come those high tempo. The Storm is incredible, though. Storm's going down on top of this bio. Hellbats are gone. The SCVs here at the back, not accomplishing much. Meanwhile, the Colossi are getting some great shots, and the Zealots do somehow break through with the support of those Storms. And it looks like GuMiho is going to get shut down here very, very hard.
GG. Completely dominated. Those Storms came out just in time. Ridiculous.
That game, that's the only word for it.
That game. Without that Storm, I think he may have lost. But Templar on the top of the ramp like that, just waiting for that opportunity. Everything getting wiped out. Good positioning with the Army as well, right at the back there.
Wow.
Barely holds on.
That was a stressful moment.
Keeping the hopes and dreams of KT alive. And now, it's up to Flash to keep it going.
Yeah. Momentum, now I feel swung back into KT's favor. Still a stressful moment, but we're not out of this yet. The game is definitely not over, is what I need to say here. And that was pretty nuts. I can't even shake that we just saw there.
It was kind of ridiculous. Now it's Youngwa versus Flash on Deadwing. Can Youngwa finish the job, or is Flash gonna overpower? That's the question.
It's a really good question, because Youngwa has in recent times looked better than his IM days, but most of his success comes from the Protoss versus Protoss matchup, whereas Flash has also been looking quite a bit better than he was for the majority of this season. So this is going to be a close one. I give Flash the edge, but this could go either way.
It could definitely go either way. This is one of these hard ones to predict. I predicted Flash just because he has been playing well, and Youngwa, he's hard to see him being very consistent these days.
GuMiho looking a bit upset after that loss. When you do a strat like that, though,
it was a cool build.
Yeah, there's a high chance you're gonna run into trouble. It's just not. It's a non-standard composition.